close your eyes if you haven't yet, and just take a few moments to bring to mind a particular activity you engage in somewhat mindlessly, to get a sense of what it feels like to be doing something mindless and unproductive, where it's like it's not even you doing it, perhaps slumped in a chair or on the sofa, flicking through TV channels or surfing the internet, or eating or drinking something, not even aware of that hand lifting to that mouth, just on autopilot. And I'd like you to see what you see as you're in one of those times, and hear what you hear, and to mindfully go into this state of mindlessness, to deliberately experience mindlessness from within. That's it. And you can let that physical body relax a little more as you do so, and become more and more still as you breathe comfortably. That's it. Now taking 3 big, deep breaths, inhaling in now, holding it at the top for a moment or two. Exhale, letting it go. And again, inhaling in. Hold it at the top for a moment or two. Exhale, let that go. And for our 3rd breath, inhale in. Hold it at the top for a moment or two. And as slowly as you can, exhale, releasing, letting go. And now allow the breath to return to the natural, normal rhythm of breathing. That's it. And as you relax deeper, I'd like you to notice the subtle emotions going on inside that drive that mindless state. It could be a drive for comfort, for instant gratification. It could be fear of failing at a task, or resenting having to do it. It could be a childish sneakiness, a delight in being contrary, and just not doing what you're supposed to do, or what you told yourself you would do. Or it could be a pessimistic sense of there being no point. And those are just some of the possibilities. And you can notice which ones feel right for you, because you know something drives all human behavior, and there are satisfactions and rewards that your emotional brain gets from that mindless activity, which you may never have noticed before, and you can just notice what they are right now. That's it. And the more you relax to these words, muscles soothing, shoulders dropping, jaw loosening, the more you notice how when you're in that mindless state, doing that activity, it's like you're already mesmerized, functioning on autopilot, and you can notice your surroundings there, where you are in the space you're in, the kinds of tastes and smells that might be there, if any, and the sense that your forebrain is just dimming down, succumbing to that emotional overwhelm. And you can actually notice those subtle emotional drives that maintain that state, and how the executive part of that brain has just been overcome by them, so that you've become a sleepwalker. And now you've got a real sense of that. It's time to make a change. I'd like you to drift right out of that time and see yourself from the outside in that mindless trance state, wasting those hours you'd give anything to have back if you were at the end of your life. And notice the expression on that face over there, and how if you could see into that brain, the executive functions in the forebrain would look somehow dim, only faintly glowing, maybe a dull gray blue, and the emotional centers deeper in would look brighter, perhaps red or orange. And then I'd like you to let that all fade for now as you begin to relax even deeper with a focused determination. That's it. And start to bring to mind any people you know who work hard, perhaps someone who experienced a setback or a personal tragedy, but soldiered on through sheer force of will and determination. And just think for a moment of all the hard work that led to the life you live now, the determination and resolve shown by your ancestors and their ancestors back through time, battling the elements, searching for food, forging civilization, with only their will to live and survive, driving them to keep going, and how important it is to recognize those traits within you, your inheritance that helped you keep going through difficult times in your life, part of who you are. And did you know author Malcolm Gladwell identified what great artists and businessmen have in common, from Mozart to the Beatles to your favorite athlete or artist? And it was not so much their natural talent that led them to their success as the thousands of hours of practice they put in, spending really exceptional amounts of time bettering their abilities, driven by a passion to practice, come rain or shine, weary or bright, because what you repeatedly practice again and again, you become so very good at. And you know, a horse is a creature of tremendous muscular strength and huge stamina, able to travel further than any human and pull a far greater weight. But for a rider to benefit from that horsepower, they need to form a relationship where the rider cares for the horse and firmly directs it. And sometimes that horse might stray or get a little anxious or headstrong, and a good rider will know how to guide that horse back on course. And as you look back at that you in that mindless activity over there, you can really begin to wonder how the rider can be a better guide to that horse, how that executive part of the brain can begin to brighten up and take charge, to evoke new, purposive emotions in that brain, a drive to become better, a drive to make the most of your life, a drive to follow through on your word, a drive to create and cultivate self-control and consistency, a drive to discover what's possible if you really put in the work and follow through on your word and stay consistent day after day, and how this flood of energy brings about a clear new direction so that the neurons begin firing in harmony, bathed in a bright new blended color, and those old impulses that had been hijacking that brain get dimmer and fainter as you see that you over there begin to look more alive, and a wake up coming right out of that mindless state and begin to do something different, something more productive. And then I'd like you to just ponder what would have needed to happen for that you over there never to have begun that mindless activity in the first place. Would they have had to have a plan made beforehand, or made changes to their environment, got more organized. I'd like you to play a different version of history in your mind now, where you see a so much more focused and resolved you make the most of that time from the very beginning and make all the preparations necessary to use your time well. And now you can just experience that resolve and determination from the inside as you float right inside that you in that situation, actively engaging in something productive that will make life so much better in the long run. And notice the brightness, that energy in the front of your brain, a tingling sensation of certainty and self-control, and how the emotional parts of that brain are working with that energy, all in one blended, glowing color, perhaps a golden light, like a horse in perfect harmony with its rider, creating a feeling of coherence and direction as those old temptations seem more and more distant and irrelevant. That's it. And just notice what it's like to be there, doing that new, productive activity, knowing it's part of a much larger goal of making the most of your life. And you know you can listen to this session often, further strengthening the executive parts of that brain each time, and look forward to testing yourself, not just when it's easy to be more disciplined with more self-control, but also when you're stressed or tired, because you know the right thing to do is to keep going. And this new coherent energy can supercharge those times with a deep resolve and determination. And for now, as you prepare to become wide awake, that's it. You can just notice the position of your body and the sensation of the surface that you're resting on. And as you reorient to the here and now, you can feel refreshed and alert. And as you open up your eyes now, you might even enjoy a nice stretch and welcome back.